Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Mira Syahirah and I am one of the representatives from LG245CIUITM Shalom. My groupmates and I have chosen the topic of code mixing, jumping between two languages for our poster presentation. Before I start, let me introduce my team members, which are Intan Rehana binti Razali and Nurul Izzati binti Jaafar. So today, I'll be explaining briefly about our topic, which is code mixing. Code mixing? Are you familiar with this term or have you ever heard about the term before? Code mixing actually is a linguistic term that refers to the use of more than one language or variety in a conversation. For example, what do you want to makan today? The question represents two languages, which are Malay and English. Thus, this poster overall represents the occurrence of code mixing, where it is known as an ordinary phenomenon that occurs in countries with bilingual speakers among university students in their daily life and social media. We have conducted this research in a qualitative approach, where the findings of this paper explores the types, effects, and factors of university students' code mixing in social media. In this modern era, English is one of the most significant languages that is being used widely in various vital domains such as education, business, and communication. According to Statista 2021, Malaysia has recorded the highest number of social media users in 2020, which is 30.41 million users in various platforms. This proves that the use of technology has risen as well among university students who are utilizing technology wisely, specifically in engaging with social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This is because social media has gained huge attention and trust by various parties, even in completing assignments and promoting university events. I believe majority university students, especially Malaysian, have used or frequently use English in their daily life and social media, as it is very familiar among the students. Thus, the existence of code mixing appears in social media among bilingual university students has become a trend phenomenon. Why does code mixing happen? Code mixing frequently happens among bilingual students where they use English in the education domain. However, the students are more inclined in using their mother tongue language on a daily basis. This phenomenon has increased rapidly, which may bring potential danger to the linguistic performance of the students, specifically in the education field. This study is conducted in qualitative research, where it applies thematic analysis, includes 21 journal articles as secondary resources are utilized in analyzing this research. Therefore, there are three research questions that lead us to complete our findings, which are: firstly, what are the factors that lead university students to code mix on social media? Second, what types of code mixing occurrences can be observed among undergraduate students? And thirdly, does code mix affect the students' linguistic performance? We have grouped 21 articles that have been used into three themes, which are types, effects, and factors of code mixing. For the types of code mixing, Abdul Halim 2015 states that the most frequent type of code mixing used by Malaysian students in Facebook application is word insertion. The second type is alternation, which is referred as mixing words in utterances, which suits the compatibility of the language involved. Thirdly, students code mix by using congruent lexicalization with words from the other language that they are familiar with. Two effects of code mixing that can be summarized are divided into positive and negative sides, which are code mixing actually has made improvement towards an individual's cognitive, linguistic, and social skills. Nevertheless, code mixing leads to the loss of purity in the native language as stated by Hossein and Bar 2015. Factors of code mixing that can be discovered are firstly the degree of speakers' bilingual proficiency and their language, Secondly, the speaker's social status or personal identity. And lastly, the speaker's intention to have a decent interaction and to emphasize a point in utterances. Moving on to the next part, we have analyzed 21 journal articles in this research in order to answer 3 research questions that have been stated. Firstly, there are 3 factors that lead university students to code mix on social media, which are bilingualism, student social status, and students' proficiency in utilizing non-native languages. And there are 3 common types of code mixing used among undergraduate students, which are word insertion, alternation, and congruent lexicalization. The positive and negative effects of code mixing towards students' linguistic performance are discovered in this research as well, which are students who code mix are more inclined in having greater social skills compared to others who do not code mix. However, code mixing among students is greatly affecting the authenticity of languages. Overall, research findings found that students showed positive perceptions on the use of code mixing while communicating or interacting with their friends and family members. This proves that code mixing is known as a common strategy for communication in social media. The findings for this study are enlightening for the readers and future researchers, especially for the university students in examining how frequent they are in code mixing on social media. Findings have shown that the phenomena of code mixing is typical and common among undergraduate students, especially in the usage of social media and real life. Although the occurrence of code mixing is ruining the authenticity of languages, it is still prominent that students who code mix possess greater social skills and improves their cognitive and linguistic skills as well. As long as we know when and how to use code mixing appropriately, we are good to go. A message for students out there: we should not code mix in formal education. For example, in our examinations or forums when we are asked not to do so. I hope this video helps us to understand our languages better. Thank you for watching, everyone.